Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching the Review Sanctum, where everything and anything may be reviewed. And today we're talking about the long-awaited sequel, Arachna number 2. Now, this book came out a week and a half ago. I kind of gave it extra time. I didn't want to do it the same day I got the book because I didn't want to spoil it for the people out there. I do believe there still might be people out there that have not gotten their copy in the mail just yet. So be warned, there'll be heavy spoilers. I'm not going to go like super deep, but I do want to talk a little freely about some of the themes here and there and, not limit myself so much. So be warned, if you have not gotten the physical copy just yet, there will be spoilers. So you've been warned. So just to give a basic overview of the overall character, Arachna is a woman named Jenny Janus, and, or is it pronounced Jenny Janus? I don't know. But anyway, she's your typical awkward, cowardly, college girl with her life and whatever. But she has a split personality, and the split personality is Arachna, the more super heroic, the more bolder, stronger version of herself. I guess you could kind of say that. And yeah, so Arachna has, spider power. She's incredibly agile. She can do like backflips and all this stuff. She's got a regenerative power, so she can recover from wounds. It's not instantly, it kind of depends on the nature of the wound. And she can also shoot out web lines from each individual finger. She can shoot out 10 web lines at once if she wanted to. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, so either side, either personality, they're aware that they exist, but they're not aware what the other is doing. So it is kind of interesting there. So basically in the last episode, the last issue, she was dealing with Dr. Diabolique, who had this henchwoman named Meiko, and he basically got her spider powers and gave them to Meiko, and she became Kumo. And during the final battle, it's unclear if she survived, if Kumo survived or not, but Dr. Diabolique is still out there somewhere, you know what I mean? So this book starts out sometime later, and Arachna's now super obsessed with finding Dr. Diabolique. She wants to have her revenge because she was, kidnapped and beaten and drugged and all that shit in the last issue. So now she wants some fucking payback, But unfortunately, Arachna likes to leap before she looks a lot, and she gets over her head, and she gets rescued by this martial arts master named Ji-Ho. Now, Ji-Ho is from South Korea. He came to America because he found out about Arachna through videos and photos, news reports or whatever, and he feels that she could be even better as a hero and, not make so much mistakes, not be so impulsive, learn how to use her powers and actually her regular self too, like be more athletic as a regular person without relying so much on the superpowers and stuff like that. And just overall being a better person, a better fighter and stuff like that. So yeah, he trains her for a while, and we kind of go forward to Jenny now. Jenny is a waitress now, so this issue establishes she does a waitressing as her job away from all the superhero stuff. And this woman comes to the restaurant, or the diner. She goes to the diner, orders her food, whatever. And whenever the owner goes away and they're alone, this woman calls her Arachna by name. And even though Jenny's trying, oh, Arachna, where? It's like, yeah, don't play with me. Like, we know. She's been stalking her. She's been using, like, super long distance binoculars and drones and crap. So they know that she's Arachna. And they also have Dr. Diabolique captive. So they show pictures of him in the cage and stuff. He's on some island that belongs to this woman's master. So it's like, we want you to come join us, have dinner with us, and, we'll hand him over. So she's like, all right, like Arachna's personality surfaces, even though she's still Jenny in her, waitress outfit, but she becomes Arachna there. Yeah, where is he, So she goes to the island, and the island is called Jaecar Island. I'm going to call it Jaecar, spelled Jaecar. In the comic book, you don't know how things are pronounced. So it's owned by a guy named Jaecar. He's a world famous hunter, and he had a big collection of animals he captured throughout the years. He actually sold his collection to buy the island, so the island belongs to him, and he built his own house and everything. And he's always hunting animals, and he even got mutated animals and stuff too. So it's pretty crazy. So anyways, Arachna has dinner with them, and the woman here is named Tayana, and she's very subservient to him and everything. And Arachna falls for it again. She gets drugged. She drinks the wine, gets drugged, falls unconscious and stuff. And when she wakes up, now she's part of this game. So basically the thing is, every morning Arachna is set free in the jungle, giving her a chance to see if she could escape. and Jay Carr hunts her down, but Jay Carr's not playing around. I mean, he's, you know, throwing arrows at her and trying to shoot her and, you know, beating her up. Like, it's like serious. It's not like a game, you know? And there's booby traps. Like, she fell into, like a pit full of spikes, and the spikes are impaling her and shit. You know, obviously, she has the, what do you call it, the regeneration factor and all that, but, I mean, it still fucking hurts, you know, if she gets stabbed by arrows and spears, she's still yanking them out, and obviously it still fucking hurts, so that sucks, you know, and she gets her ass kicked by Jay Carr multiple times, and the whole thing is, he plans to do this to her over and over and over until she finally breaks and submits and becomes kind of like how Tayana is now. They reveal that Tayana was also a formidable woman in her own right back in her day, I guess, before Jay Carr hunted her down repeatedly until she became like how she is now. And even so, though, Tayana is horrified by how Arachna's being treated, and maybe she'll do something. Maybe she'll come out of it. We'll see, you know? But, yeah, that's basically the story, and how Arachna will have to deal with this, how she'll have to escape, is she able to convince Tayana to betray her master, you know, all that kind of stuff. Dr. Diabolique is there, but he's not just in the cage, he does other things, so what's going to happen there? Just a lot of stuff there. But, just real quick, I want to go over some of the things that I'll go into the themes. The art's amazing, it's pretty badass, just like the last issue, lots of good fighting poses, lots of action shots. The climax though, there was too much shit going on near the end because the whole mansion's like falling apart. There's animals and there's whatever, and there's people fighting on the top floor, the bottom floor. The floor collapses. It's kind of hard to tell what the fuck is going on. And it's always that's my only complaint. Just that those last couple of pages was kind of hard to tell what the fuck was going on. But I mean, it could kind of be seen as it's just chaotic, you know. But you know, good action scenes, good characters design. I do have to say for people that are fans of the cheesecake, you know, the cultured gentleman of the audience, you know. There's a lot of stuff to be cultured about here. Way more cheesecake. I want to say twice as much cheesecake in this one than the first one. The first one had a couple of topless scenes here and there, or suggestive scenes, stuff like that. Here, Arachna's topless a lot. Tayana just can't seem to keep her clothes on. Sometimes it almost looks like it's like a panel count contest of who's topless the most, either Arachna or Tayana. And also, I do also review this for my blog at blogger.com, and I try to, you know, obviously keep it tasteful. I'm not going to show those things in my images when I show pictures of the comic and stuff, you know, for review purposes or whatever. And there's like times I can't show this page. There's like a badass action shot and stuff, but I can't because, oh, Arachna's topless, or maybe she's fully clothed, but Tayana's topless in the corner, so I can't show that. You know what I mean? There's this cool part where Arachna, when she drinks the wine, she gets all woozy and stuff, but the art turns into like a fucking acid trip. It's all weird and crazy, and the bad guys are drawn super over-exaggerated. They got fangs and stuff, and it just looks like you can tell that's kind of like Arachna's, like, you know, her head is swirling. It really gives the reader the view of how everything's, you know, getting fucked up before you blank out and stuff like that. But again, I can't show pictures of it because Tayana's naked or topless in the corner. You know what I mean? So that's like whatever. Yeah, it just so happens that when Arachna's falling over, she accidentally yanks down Tayana's top, and I guess Tayana's just so in shock of what's going on, she doesn't bother to put it back up, you know? But, you know, that's what you're going to get in these kind of books. So, you know, if you're not into that, you know, be warned. And, what else can I say? Yeah, the book also came with some cool cards. I believe I can show them because the parts are covered. There's cool cards. Yeah, there's cool cards here. And some of them are, I'll say, too hot for YouTube. I'm not going to show them here. But you get some cool cards with some of the tiers. I also got a cool refrigerator magnet. That's pretty awesome. I always prefer magnets because you can just, you know, stick them and remove them. Stickers, though, it kind of sucks because when the time comes you're going to move or something, you're going to tear them up. You know what I mean? But a refrigerator magnet, just slap it on, slap it off. You know, it's cool. So anyways, the real thing I want to go into is that this book goes deeper into Arachna and Jenny's split personality, and it makes me very curious. I really want to see where they go with this. There's a couple of scenes that really stand out. One scene, first of all, whenever she's training with Ji-Ho, she goes into the whole thing about you must know yourself and all that kind of junk. But the thing is, she doesn't know where she got her powers from. As far as Arachna knows, she just up in one day, you know, discovered her powers or whatever. But now the question was raised that what if Jenny knows where she got her powers, and she's purposely keeping it from Arachna? Or what if she's like subconsciously blocking it out or something so Arachna doesn't know? That's kind of interesting right there. One of the times that Jenny was defeated, she has a dream where she confronts Jenny herself. So Jenny and Arachna are talking to each other, the two personalities, as two individuals. That's kind of interesting. And in this part, Jenny was kind of like concerned that if Arachna doesn't escape the island fast enough, if this keeps going, she might eventually get used to her prison and just become kind of complacent and just stay there, kind of like what happens to Natalia, because Natalia doesn't know like a life anymore outside of that island. That's her life now, just being an island and just doing whatever Jakar tells her to do, you know. So the part that gets me is that Jenny says, I know because you've done this before, because in the past I was able to suppress you and lock you away in my mind for years or for some time. I forgot if she said years but she was locked away in her mind for some time until they got the spider powers. Then she was able to escape some more, and Arachna now, you know, became like her own with her powers and, you know, the braveness, the cocky attitude, that kind of stuff. So that means that Jenny had this split personality thing before she got the spider powers. It's not part of the spider powers. I guess the spider powers just kind of increased the split personality thing, and it makes me curious now, because now I want to see if some other book is going to go deeper into that and the effect of, did she have some kind of like trauma or something happen to her that you know, make the split personality come out? That's kind of interesting, you know. But another thing also is that Arachna wants to take over. Arachna wants to be Arachna 24/7. She does not want to turn back into Jenny anymore. And there was a part where she was saying that she's going to be free. She's going to be free, but not just free from the island and Jakar, but also like free from Jenny. Like you know, like that means you, Jenny. So she wants to be independent of Jenny, which I don't know how that works, because, you know, two minds, one body. What happens to Jenny? I'm assuming Jenny is the real person and this is like the persona, but what happens when the persona takes over? You know, you can't just have Jenny be locked away instead. That'd be interesting though, if they did something like that, you know? And let me see what else they said. Yeah, near the end, I'm not going to spoil what happened, but near the end, stuff happened in Jenny's life as a result of, you know, Arachna being gone. So Jenny's like, oh, this means war, Arachna. So what does that mean, right? So now we've got them warring against each other, two personalities fighting for one body. And again, if Arachna wins, I'm still like, what happens to Jenny? Because can you imagine, like, how would it be if you were yourself and you had a split personality, and your split personality ended up just taking over where the real, original you no longer exists? You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. And in a certain way, going deeper into these themes makes me a lot more interested than the action. Because, yeah, of course, good action, good art. I mean, that's, you know, that's a shoo-in. I'm very curious about what's going to happen in the last, you know, the next issue after this, because, oh my God, that cliffhanger. That last page cliffhanger, yo, that's all I'm going to say. I can't wait for the next issue of this. But yeah, I'm just very curious about that, and I feel that even though I know the argument can be made that, oh, you know, it's just female Spider-Man or Spider-Woman, you know, whatever, I do feel that the split personality does add a very different part of it, like a different aspect to the story, and I do like how they're exploring it, and I'm very, very curious as how they're going to do this, how they're going to go into it, what are we going to find out the origin of her powers. Did Jenny actually already know she's keeping it from Arachna? It's just very interesting with this, and it makes me very, very curious. And to tell you the truth, like I said, it's one of the things that also helps me keep coming back. I mean, I really like the character, I really like the art, I like the action, and, you know, hey, who doesn't like some cheesecake now and then for all those cultured gentlemen out there? But the thing is, this whole inner struggle, I guess, between Arachna and Jenny for who takes control, very fascinating. I like that. I like that, and I'm very curious, like, to see where this goes, what they do with it, how it keeps increasing as the, you know, as the other issues come out. So yeah, I'm very curious. So anyway, guys, that's Arachna number 2. Very awesome. I can't wait for number 3. X53 Studios made this book, and they're also releasing another book called Goshawk and Falconet. I think it's too late now. I'm not sure. Maybe you can still get it. I'm not sure, but they are starting to ship. The electronic version is already available, but again, when I get the physical book, I'm not going to peek. I'm going to wait for the physical to come out. They're going to start shipping it very, very soon in January, so, a couple of days. It's already tomorrow, right? So, yeah, I'll also be reviewing that. And they also got a third book coming out called Vindicators. And Vindicators is like this, I think it's a cowboy type guy and a vampire woman. So that's interesting too. So yeah, interesting stuff. So eventually Arachna number 3 is going to come out. Obviously with this cliffhanger. We got Ghost Shock and Falconet, and we got Vindicators. So X53 Studios is really like building up the little universe here. And who knows, right now it's way too soon for something like that. But who knows, in the future there'll be some event that makes these characters overlap. Or you know how it is, it can start small. You can start with a issue of Ghost Shock and you see like news where, in the whatever city Arachna was last seen, something to kind of imply is that Arachna exists in their world. That's interesting, So looking forward to it. This is Mark Rodriguez here, wrapping up the new year, last video of the year. I'm going to get this up in a couple of hours before the, year ends and all that. But, yes. This has been the Review Sanctum. This is Mark Rodriguez here, and this is where everything and anything may get reviewed. So, see you next time, and Happy New Year!